Hello, hello. Welcome, guys, to. Well, what is this? It's Shining in Darkness, a first person dungeon crawling RPG for my youth. Well, actually, I see my brother play it in my youth, and then, like, as a teenager, I played it and then got really, really frustrated and never played it again until recently when I bought Shining in the Holy Ark, and I was thinking, let me play the original. Why not? Why not? Why not play Shining in the Darkness? It's it is the first Shining game. It's the one that started it all, and for the most part, it's a decent game. It just is, right? The issue is, though, is that I remember how frustrated I was. I remember how frustrated I was when I first played it, and I was thinking that maybe it was all in my head, right? Having to like draw maps and do all this stuff, and maybe it was all in my head. No, well, there is a level of frustration that's involved in this game, and I can't seem to. I just have to bear with it. I just have to bear with it because that's how it is. Okay. I wonder if I should get a. All right, let me get a healing fruit, and then I'll is ready to go. And, all right, then we're off. Now, what I'm going to do next is a little unconventional. I'm going to forget about taking the medallion with me, and I'm just going to explore the third level. I'll explore it, get everything in chests and stuff. You know, and probably should use view to see where I've been. So it looks like I got kind of deep, and it looks like I got a chest or two. What's weird is, what are these for? Jeez. Oh, the one thing I was trying to avoid. Oh. Better magic? Better magic? No. Huh. All right, that's good. That's good. Oh. wonder if that bouncy thing is gonna show up again. You know, there was ouch. I was thinking about the TurboGrafx slash PC Engine the other day, and how lucky I got when I bought that thing on eBay when I did. Well, actually, it was the Turbo CD, and guys just threw their junk at me. But there was a lot of good games in that collection. Raiden, the three games. It was Bonk's Revenge, and I think Gate of Thunder. What was in there? You know, Dungeon Explorer, and what else? Ninja Spirit, Dragon Spirit, Parasol Stars, Ys. I had a second copy of Ys in there. You know, Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, Shadow of the Beast, Simurth. I'm thinking like, I was given that guy threw in a lot of stuff, and I'm looking at the prices of some of these games, and they're like really up there. Now, mind you, I only ever really wanted to play Ys, and I remember getting the third Ys game separately. Ouch. I was thinking like, wow, there's all this stuff here, right? Oh. Really? There you go. Like, what I was thinking, what was the TurboGrafx for me? It only I like my brother was given a TurboGrafx, I think in '92, shortly before the shortly before before the launch of Sonic 2. And he played a lot of different games in there. But I could tell he liked. My brother was the kind of person that liked arcades. Oh, really? My brother was the person that liked going to the arcades and playing a variety of like shooters and and puzzle games and stuff like that. From what I remember, fighting games too, but uh, go. So to him, there were just certain arcade ports that were just on there, and they were notable. Like R-Type was notable, Splatterhouse, Dragon Spirit, right, Raiden. You know, it received a lot of ports, and that's what I kind of saw it as. Is the machine that has arcade games for you to play. You know, and then like after a while, it just you know my brother just kind of lost interest, and then he gave it to me. Um, Minus all the games he played, but he just gave it to me. All right, let's go through with it. Oh, wrong way. All the way through here. Okay, still have enough. I could deal with losing a couple MPs. And I think that's what... There's a lot of reasons why the TurboGrafx failed. But mainly it's because it just didn't have the games, right? And if it did have the games, it was a lot of arcade games that probably didn't get a lot of people's interest for very long. And you know, the games I mentioned, every game I mentioned besides Ease and Sherlock Holmes had an arcade equivalent. You know, or you know, had a version of the arcade. Bloody Wolf, I remember borrowing that for a while. I thought that was pretty cool. But I could tell like it definitely needed a it definitely needed more. Oh man, am I going the right way? No, I'm not going the right way. You know, and I don't know. NEC had so much money that for promotion and stuff, but it just didn't really capture. It couldn't really capture the audience. It just wouldn't. And I think the Genesis was suffering a lot of the same issues in the beginning. But when, because I would remember being 6 years old telling my friends about the Genesis, and they just had no idea what I was talking about. You know, to them, video games was Nintendo, and that was it. And I'm saying, no, look, there's this thing called the Genesis, and it has, you know, has this game, that game, the other game. But they didn't care about that, right? So there was a lot of the same kind of things going on with well, let's see. Where am I at? I miss my place here in the map. Oh, so I was going the right direction. Okay. And I'm thinking back, I'll tell you, my brother had I brought a promotional. He brought a promotional thing from a promotional cassette with a lot of different TurboGrafx footage, and you know, it had East on there, and that game really stuck with me. That's why I went out to get one. But you know, later in life. But great. Really? Ouch. So where was I at? Okay, well, all right. So as time goes on, there were a couple of reasons why I would eventually get. Well, one, I already had a TurboGrafx, right? I had a TurboGrafx, and and um and I had Keith Courage, and I remember getting Space Harrier somewhere, and those were my only two games that I had, and I didn't want to get rid of it because, you know, I was like I eventually want to get East, um, but I never got around to it. Eventually I would, right? But at some point after getting a job, back when these things were cheaper, because now finding a working CD-ROM unit for the TurboGrafx is an arm and a leg. But when things were cheaper, I would eventually find one. Use it on yourself. Actually, yeah. There we go. I bought this turbo CD, and it came with all these games. Oh man. That's enough. Because every time I see a new enemy, I don't know if they're too strong for, you know, the, all the magic and stuff I'm using. Great. Oh. These monsters are getting stronger and stronger. Great, just great. Well, I can't use it because they're paralyzed. At least I can use this. Damn. Now, when I think about the PC Engine TurboGrafx, more here in the United States, I see a lot of parallels to what happened to the Saturn. And, for me, the Saturn, like I said, was a disappointment. Um, but it was one of those systems, you know, that had something. The PC Engine TurboGrafx had one of those systems that had something. They both had better successes in Japan, and they were very arcade focused. Like when you look at the top games of the Saturn, people do not talk about, like, outside the hardcore. People do not talk about like the games that they remember from Saturn. They don't talk about Shining Force 3 or Dark Savior or Astal. They might talk about Panzer Dragoon, but in all honesty, it's always about Virtua Fighter, Daytona, Sega Rally, and maybe Knights, right? Besides Knights, a lot of those games, it's really arcade focused. But the TurboGrafx, they talk about R-Type. Excuse me. They talk about R-Type, Gates of Thunder, and occasionally Bonk. And besides Bonk, a lot of that stuff was arcade. And I think it's the matter of what a console game is. It took a little while, but Sega kind of figured out that these systems needed their own experiences, not just what they needed their own experience. It's not what was copied in an arcade. And but arcade by nature are supposed to be these small segmented, you know, pieces of fun, right? Yeah, if you're good enough, you can make it last a long time. Uh, like like I remember beating Street Fighter a couple of times with just 1 quarter, right? Because I was good enough to do that. But if you look at anything else, if you look at Daytona USA, with that $1, with that one credit, with that $1 bill, you're only gonna play that one track. You know, the Dragon Spirit. If you pop in that quarter, you're gonna make it last as long as until you die, and it's usually pretty quick. These arcade games weren't very forgiving, and they were never really meant to be these long, expansive experiences. You know, if you take a game like Super Mario Brothers, actually, no, I have to item use. I, Super Mario Brothers, although they had some arcade-like mechanics, it was its own unique experience. Same thing with Sonic. This game I'm playing right now, Shining in the Darkness. This is an RPG that takes a lot of time. It's a very unique console experience, and I think that was something that was lost in the PC engine slash Turbo Graphics. They focused a little too much of the arcade experience here, and not expanded beyond that. They didn't expand past that, and much to the detriment uh, of its of the people that adopted it, the people that bought it. Same could go for the Saturn to a small degree. Although the Saturn had its own unique experiences, a lot of what was pushed in marketing was like the arcade ports, which is fine. It's not bad, but honestly I think the pack-in title should have been Panzer Dragoon. I really do. Panzer Dragoon should have been the pack-in title. Um, a game like Bug and and Astral should have been pushed a little bit more. But if things were moving over to 3D, then I guess Virtua Fighter should have been added in there. But honestly, I would have tried to get Virtua Fighter Remix out sooner, just to kind of so it wouldn't look as underpowered when compared to something like Toshinden. Oh wait. Man, I remember when I remember the first time I played Virtua Fighter. It was my brother's Saturn. It was soon after he got it, and and it was him and his friend um, that were talking about it. I'm gonna give it him just in case. If I find all those giant turkeys again, I'm gonna. I guess I could go ahead and save. Anyway, after my brother went ahead and let me play Virtua Fighter, he you know while I was playing, and I was doing a horrible job because it was the first time I played Virtua Fighter, but him and his friends were talking, and I've never seen it before, but they were already talking about about the PlayStation, and they were talking about Toshinden because his mom and pop store that they would go to did imports, and they had I think they had a PlayStation demo going on, and I'm not sure what they were showing. I don't know if Toshinden was already no, I'm good. And what was I saying? Okay, so they're talking about Toshinden, and then they were comparing the Virtua Fighter that was on the screen to what they remember in the arcade, and the thing that stuck out to me is that Akira didn't have any fingers, like he had a fist, but he didn't have any fingers. And I'm thinking, what? Like, right? And I think later on, when Tekken came out on the PlayStation, now I think this is much to the detriment of to Sega. Hold on, wait. Much to the detriment of Sega. Jeez. There we go. The arcade hardware that they had was way more advanced than what the Saturn was capable of. So when people would talk about, arcade ports, a lot of the stuff that Namco was using was PlayStation based hardware. The first Tekken was using hardware similar to that of the PlayStation 1. Same goes for the second and third one. So when they brought those games over to the original PlayStation, yeah, sure, they cut some parts here and there, but for the most part, these games, they were these Namco games, they were very, very close. The PlayStation version of these games were very close to what Namco released in arcades. And you couldn't say the same to you couldn't say the same thing to something like Virtua Fighter 2, Sega Rally, so on and so forth. It made the argument of Sega arcade Saturn ports like it wasn't quite there. Like it, there was a visual difference. You couldn't say the same thing about a lot of the Tekken games. Ridge Racer, of course, you could say that because I think the arcade version of Ridge Racer was at 60. Same thing for Ace Combat. Not too sure. Also, that's something that that had to be stated is that something that needed to be stated is that when everyone talks about the 299 price thing of the original PlayStation, and that Sega was Saturn was $100 cheaper. Sega should have pushed more that the Saturn came with onboard memory and a free packing game, something that the PlayStation didn't do. You know. Although the age of packing games, I wish they would come back. Like, oh god, I remember this one thing. Oh, man. Alright, it looks like they didn't make it easy. Man. Sega really didn't play it smart with the Saturn. It is something that I still think about from time to time. I I still don't get why there wasn't a Streets of Rage, a Fantasy Star, a Comic Zone, an Eternal Champions, or even a Sonic. I just finished listening to a podcast from the Saturn Shiro guys, and they had the guy that worked on Bug, and the contract he had stated that he was gonna work on a Sonic game, right? It wasn't Sonic Extreme, but he was gonna work on a Sonic game, and that's what he was contracted to do. Is for him and his team to make a Sonic, and Hayao Nakayama, you know, killed the project. Like, oh no, you can't. No one outside of Sega is supposed to make Sonic. Sega of America knew we need a Sonic on this thing, right? And honestly, I don't think that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Damn. Okay. The center was already complicated to begin with, right? You know, parallel processing, um, a new console, very unfamiliar. I, and not many people could program like that, you know. Ah, damn. Am I having this much trouble? Anyway, I was listening to this podcast, and I guess I might leave a link in the description. But this guy, him and his team. They were contracted to do a Sonic game on the Saturn. It and yeah, this is where I was supposed to go. And Hayao Nakayama blocked the project, right? Um, well, anyway, this guy, well, he he was still in the contract, and decided to make Bug. Like he needed to make something, right? He was on contract. He pitched to Sega of America. Well, we had this idea for a game. Can we just make that game instead? And it turned out it was Bug. And I don't know how Sonic would have come out in that kind of gameplay format, but I would think that it would have definitely got a lot of eyeballs, right? It would have kept it would have made the sound a little bit more appealing, and I don't think it would have been too bad because at that time, Crash wasn't even out yet. Mario 64 was still like about a year away, so. Alright, I'm doing good. Oh. So I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure it would have been okay, right? I think it would have been like Bug is a fun enough game, you know. And it would have kept the Sonic franchise alive during those times, right? It would have kept on people's minds, and who knows, it might have sold a couple of units. The newest Sonic games on Saturn in a 3D or 4D world, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Alright, I think I'm doing okay. Actually, physical attack might work. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, physical attacks don't do anything on these guys. Yeah, Living Dead, only magic. Huh. This is where I got stuck with the turkeys. Yeah. Those are monsters that were supposed to show up there, but man, let's see. Okay, hopefully, if it's a mimic, then I'm not gonna take any chances. Okay. Huh. Mystic rope. It might make certain sections easier. Okay, oof. Nah. Actually, I think the physical attack might still be stronger. Jeez. The monster's supposed to show up. Oh, there's a chest over here. Damn, I'm moving up fast. it should be okay. Oh, here's fruit. I'm supposed to have some sort of green crab come out. Maybe because I've already been... Probably. Okay. I'm starting to think this is probably should have been a grind quest. That's what I was trying to avoid. You know, when the PlayStation era was going on, oh, I could tell, like, I could tell that how progressed a lot of the arcade games weren't. They were kind of stable. They were kind of like staying the same. You like the quality of game was kind of staying the same, and not many companies were pushing the envelope in terms of, you know, graphics and sound. I think Sega was the only one doing that with their model, you know, 1, 2, 3s and Naomi's 2 and, you know, 1 and 2s and stuff. But everyone else seemed to stay the same. Like Capcom was content with making games on the CPS1 and then CPS2 and then with the CPS3, you know, it went up in quality with like, oh man, it went up in quality with like stuff, like the quality went up, like in RAM, like things for animation, but nothing beyond that. And of course Neo Geo, they try to go forward with the God. Neo Geo, they had the MVS, and you know, SNK had the NVS, AES machines going on. But yeah, Noah Rose really pushing the envelope. And I don't think. And I'll. Like what I mentioned before. Oh man, these guys are too strong. Oh man, look at that. Okay. And I think a lot of it has to do with that. I don't think anyone wanted to do the R&D. Because to be honest, people weren't going to the arcades as much, right? No, they just weren't. Man. Okay, this is way too much damage. Jeez. I think these monsters might be a little too much for me. I think those dream pups are something that have to be defeated with magic as well. Or not. Nanto was able to pull it off quite quickly. Oh, come on. look at that! Look at that damage, man! Some amount of healer fruit. Monsters are supposed to come out. Oh, really? See, that's why you don't get rid of certain things. Ice staff. This was supposed to show up already. I wish I had the cell key. Jeez. One step and I'm already fighting. I wonder if these guys are still active in the gaming industry. You can attack sooner, Lance? Jeez. steel hand doesn't work. Okay. Whoops. So it's supposed to be a giant crab. Oh, well, another, like a green crab to show up, I think. But it's not showing up. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. You gotta be kidding me. Surprises like this to make this game very challenging. That's a sizable attack. Ah. Huh. Wow, judging by how much XP that fought gave me, I'm definitely gonna need a level up. A fire staff. Ice staff. Nah, that whip is still too. That whip is still too strong. I gotta have to hold on to that one. Maybe I should just sell that stuff. Hey, Mouse. Doing okay?
Yeah, just waking up.
Maybe I should consider. Everyone's starting to take more damage. Alright, let's all heal up. And I'm just thinking right now because it's. Yeesh. I always thought someone was going to use that stack of wood to build another store or something. As, you know. Well, let me you know what? I could finally reach that chest at was it the Cave of Courage? No, 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 it was another cave. Where was it? Yes, the Cave of Strength. You know, yeah, that's right. There was that hole I couldn't get to. Or that hole is blocking my path. Okay, let's see. I don't have time for you guys. Now, where was it? So much fun going through all these old monsters, just wiping. There used to be so much trouble, you remember, guys? But now they're starting to become annoying, so stop with that. I'm surprised those green crabs didn't come out before. Okay, well, there was mithril ore in that thing. I should probably go ahead and start making better armor. See, now that I have the rope, I could easily get I could easily check out these holes that I was at. Or these holes I've been to, and then just like, you know, because you know, there's treasure. I could drop the smelling salts and stuff, but I think with the ore, I really have to make something out of it. It's just, it's tough. With the mithril ore, it's tough deciding what you need, because you don't know how long you're gonna really need it. Because this is, I'm not that far away from the game, from the end game, you know. Honestly, I don't think I need to make anything for Lance, because Lance is the one that's supposed to be having all the yeah, Lance is supposed to be the one carrying all the light equipment, you know. She's one-shotting everything now. The last level 4. equipped. Let me see something. Item. Give. Let's exchange it for the angel feather. Okay. Item equip. Oh, attack factor drops down, but I wonder if there's multiple hits. I'm gonna try it out. There's nothing there. Alright, this ain't good. Oh, attacks the same target twice. This flail definitely has something going on. I wonder how well it'll do in the upper levels. Well, I do have to say, I do like how these sprites look. They're pretty detailed for what they're trying to convey. My main criticism is that there's little to no animation. Like all the animation went into the actual dungeon scrolling. Okay, I think I'm gonna get up a hole right now. Maybe not. Ouch. Okay. Let's exchange it for an angel feather. Item, equip, lance. Oh, there we go. Frankly, well, no. see. You know what? I should probably get. See, item. It gets dropped down some, but I think I should just give Milo the mithril shield. I think that's a bigger help. Huh. Yeah. Strange. As soon as that trader shows up, then almost practically all the other stores are useless. Let's see. Make yourself tea. Oh. Okay.
it because my uncle came, you know, he really visits. So just gonna spend some time with my uncle. My mom.
Coming here?
No, they're gonna go. Well, he's gonna come here to pick her up and then we'll head to Sami.
You're gonna go with them?
No.
Oh. Eggs? What are you making? One? We're gonna put hash browns in there too?
No, because when I made it, you know what happened to it? It ended up being burnt. You remember that one? When I made it and all this like that, it ended up being kind of a bit of charcoal. At least eggs and all, at least I know I could eat that for sure.
Oh. This thing does not wanna. Oh, jeez. Damn. And Pyro was the one with the angel feather. Oh. Damn. I'm in a pickle right now. I thought this thing was supposed to just have no choice. Okay. That's the last thing I need. Oh, come on. Okay, go for it.
Are you challenging the pinball? Hey, Mama. It's okay, don't worry. It's okay.
Great. Well, at least I still have all this stuff. What? I can't use the Elven Hood? Wait. But Pyro's definitely an elf, right? Huh. This is so strange. I thought Milo was a dwarf. Alright. How did I get 2 mithril shields? Oh. Yeah, you know what? I don't think that was the right thing to do. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. You know, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. Well, you know, maybe I should just go back, get the other piece of ore. Or I know what I'm gonna do. Let's see. Still gonna need that. All right. All right. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get that ore again. Really should have been paying attention to what I was doing. Well, why go through all that? What do you have going on there, mouse? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. But you know what? I'll save this for another day. I've done a lot. I know where things are. These maps I have are not as accurate as I thought. I thought I'm gonna have to redraw all this stuff. Oh. Hold on, I'm not even sure if I'll even play this again because how hard it is sometimes. And frustrating too. Frustrating too. Anyway, guys, catch y'all in the next one. Peace out and have a good one. Take care.